probably up until probably 8 months ago, it was 100% no code. There was no middleware or any kind of third party technology aside from the email provider that I use.
Mm-hmm.
But as the product has evolved and we're coming up on 900,000 users
Mm-hmm.
since it launched. So it's a lot of information, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
the product also lends itself to storing a lot of information, running,
Mm-hmm.
robust data analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So right now there's code within the application. Bubble.io is
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
is
No
the
code
is
tool.
the NoCode tool,
Mm-hmm.
and there's also a lot of middleware today that wasn't
Yeah.
there a few months
Yeah.
ago.
Okay.
Also, as the product evolves, there's just a lot of kind of third-party integrations that were just
Sure.
bringing in
Sure.
a lot of information all into one. So, it went from basically 100% no code 8 months ago to, I would say, it's probably like 70-30 no code now.
Okay. Okay. So 70% is no code, 30% is the
Yeah.
middleware and the integrations. So you're still the single person, right? It's still a single person venture, right? You're the only one
I mean,
on.
I say that lightly, like single person in the sense of full-time employees. But I do work with an agency called Zeroic, who is actually out of India,
Okay.
in which I started working with them probably about a year ago,
Okay.
at the point in which I wanted the product to evolve to a point where I needed to know how to code and I
Okay.
needed to understand these kind of third-party
Mhm.
data systems that much like Bubble, I'm sure I could have figured out eventually.
But
But
speed
it,
is something.
but speed, and then I mean, you got to go fast when you're a startup, but you even got to go faster when it's an AI startup.
Yeah.
And so I was fortunate enough to be making money from the app, but at the same time, I was also making money from my full-time job.
Yeah.
And so I had the capital at that time to hire an agency, and it's not something that every startup has an opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Oftentimes they have to raise, and so it sucked for a year doing both. But had I not, I probably would have been bankrupt because a lot of money went back into the product.
I see. And was this the first, second, third agency that you met, or like how did you end up, deciding that, what? Because it's a very tricky thing to pull off, right? I mean, you can still have, agencies and all, but it might not work out. So,
I very much learned you get what you pay for.
okay.
Um, and so early on, um, I, I was smart enough to be able to build a very basic MVP. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then with really like a couple of weeks of learning this tool Bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to a point where I'm just like, I want to keep building, but I don't have that much money. I don't have any
Mm-hmm.
money at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
I hadn't made a single subscription sale. And so I went on Upwork,
Mm-hmm.
found some, uh, I'll just say cheap labor on
Mm-hmm.
Upwork. And I
Mm-hmm.
quickly realized that you get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
And so after a couple of months of trial and error on Upwork, I basically kind of made the decision. I was like, look, if I'm going to go all in on this thing, I need to hire some competent people.
Yeah.
And so at that time, the owner of the agency, his name is Prashant. I think he had hit me up on Twitter after I was probably asking the Twitter world how to do something on Bubble, and he kind of
Uh,
walked me through it. And since then, his team has grown. Now there's three developers that work part time on FormulaBot, all doing different things. One person is responsible for kind of the design. Another person is Bubble architecture and setup, and then the other person is kind of overseeing the third party integrations that we have set up.
got it. Got it. So basically, you posting the right questions, raising them on Twitter, and then probably allowing the right set of folks to reach out. Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
just the right person at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the product definitely wouldn't be what it is today had I not partnered with them.